That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild. Strawberry ice, bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman, Jeff Truniful. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. And as always, I'm coming to you live from the Ice Cave. But before I get to the sponsors of the show, I do want to send my condolences out to Rudy Johnson and his family. Houday Nation has lost a great one. If you guys have not heard, earlier today, Rudy Johnson has passed away. Rudy was the guy who replaced Corey Dillon in the Bengals resurgence from out of the 90s. He had three awesome years. I think consecutive 1,300-yard seasons. Only made one Pro Bowl for some reason. Well, he was a Bengal. Unfortunately, he passed away today at 45, which is only 5 years younger than me. So keep his family and his friends in your thoughts and prayers. R.I.P. to the great Rudy Johnson.
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need your shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping requires. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got it in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MeyerCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
And if you notice, yes, the show is earlier today because I, as you can tell, am going down to the Reds game tonight. They are in the playoffs, baby. And I misspoke yesterday saying that it would come down to a one-game playoff as if it ended today, which it won't because we had the tiebreaker against the Mets. And if I'm wrong on this, Jeff Carr will definitely correct me. But they're in the playoffs. They got 3-game series tonight at 6:40 versus the Pittsburgh Pirates. Do you believe? Hey. I wrote in my Substack article. I said, as soon as I was out, they pulled me back in, and I am extremely happy about it. But let's get to the man who knows way more about the Cincinnati Reds than I do. He's from Locked On Reds. He is Jeff Carr. What's going on, Jeff?
Hashtag pack GABP.
Pack it, baby. Let's go. Hey, $8 tickets, 3-2-1 night, and they're doing that like all week for the rest of the other two games this week.
Just 3 more home games, at least in the regular season. That's notwithstanding what could happen in October.
Yes. I cannot wait. And the thing is, like, dude, like I said, after the Dodgers series, we were 2 games out, and then we got swept. And I couldn't watch it because I go to work way too early. So I check it out on my phone. And I'm like, all right, well, I think it's over. Then we got close again. Then we got to Sacramento. I'm like, we're going to beat the A's. But they played in a minor league park. We should do this. And then we got swept. I'm like, okay. And then the Bengals season started. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm still paying attention to the Reds. And then next thing I know, we're in the playoffs. Jeff, how in the hell did we get here?
Tiebreakers, baby. They got them all. They got them all over the Mets. They got them over the Diamondbacks. They got intra-division tiebreaker over the Giants. So if the Giants were to somehow come up and tie them, the Reds would still beat them on intra-division record. Rob Manfred decided that he did not want any more extra playoff games with the expanded wild card series. So they set up all these different tiebreakers that it's basically impossible to have one of those Al Leiter type situations from 1999.
I was at that game. That game sucked. I still hate Al Leiter for that one.
yeah, same here. And honestly, there's a lot of folks that are having flashbacks, right? Like we got 3 games in Milwaukee to end this season. They're going up against the Mets to make the playoffs. It's all about how this season ends. But the good news is, depending on how they play and depending on how the Cubs play, they could be done and finished before they even get to Milwaukee.
Could be. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like, correct me if I'm wrong. Is the magic number actually? Is it 6? Either we win 6 games, Mets lose. How is that? That's the number, right? 6, right?
6 as of right now. Yeah. Which I mean, if they win and the Mets lose tonight, then it'll be 4. Then you take 2 off based off how that goes. So
exactly.
Because of the 4-2 head-to-head record the Reds have over the Mets, which is so clutch because that was in the middle of that whole stretch of like, boy, will they or won't they? That's what this team has done all season, man. Like when it comes to, all right, early on in the year, it was like they're around 500. Now they're down 500. Now they're up 500. Now they're down. And then it was playoff spot. Okay, they're half game out. Nope. Now they're 6 games out. Nope. Now they're half game out. Nope. Now they're 6 games out. And now they're in a spot. So they can't be doing no more, roller coaster.
Straight.
They got to just stay right
just
where
win.
they are.
Just win, baby. That's all you got to do.
Baby.
Just win. And so we got Stringer pitching tonight. There are some fans that want Hunter Green to pitch tonight, so that way they can bring him back early on if we need him at the weekend. What's your thoughts on that? I think we're okay with the way it is because if we're in, I want Hunter to pitch game 1 of the playoffs, but I do understand if we're down to 1 game, you want your best guy there. So where are you at on that?
It's a really good chance that, I mean, if they get everything done quickly, they can rest him that extra couple of days and pitch him in game 1, which would be in Los Angeles. I really don't foresee any change there. I don't know if LA can catch Philly or not, but I know it's unlikely. So it's a very good chances against the Dodgers. And so you would really hope that Hunter Green would be ready to go for game 1 there because you could every 5th day he would pitch on Sunday if you need him to.
Right.
But I don't think they need him to. And I think that you'll be able to see him be held out for the wild card. It's interesting to say though, right? It kind of sounds complacent where you're
awesome.
Just like,
I'm
but
glad we can have this conversation. I'm glad we can have this conversation.
Well, after the A's series, I wasn't sure, right? Like after they get swept by the A's, you're like, I wrote them off. And you know me, you know how much I love this team, but this team broke me of being just always optimistic about them, and I understood some realism around this team. But man, they've really impressed me, especially over those 4 games with the Cubs.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is that we were down on Saturday. We're down there for Oktoberfest. So we were walking around the banks and stuff, and there's Cubs fans everywhere. And I'm like, hey, good luck tonight. And one guy goes, we're already clinched. I'm like, okay, well, we're trying to clinch. So go ahead and lay down if you don't care or whatever. I just thought it was kind of a cocky freaking, I don't know, it irritates me as Cubs fans. Like they're Scrubs fans. I custom my own show here. They're Scrubs, not the Cubs. But with this, the game they won to get in the playoffs here for right now, it was a typical Reds game. Typical all season long. We scored 1 freaking run the whole damn game, and our pitching staff this time held it together. Now we've lost so many games, especially at the beginning of the year, by 1 run. It's pulling my hair out. I'm like, that's going to come back to bite us. And it still might. We'll have to wait and see how this goes. But wasn't that so typical of this team, of the way they won this game?
I think the reason that it's different is because they're playing clean baseball now. Yeah. Because there's so many of those games, 1-run ball games that they've had this year, which they have been better overall in one-run ball games in 2025 than they were last year, but they still haven't been like impressive in them.
Right. Yeah.
The difference has been, at least in the Cubs series, they stopped making those bonehead errors. And
Finally.
we finally started to see some consistency on the fielding side of things where, I mean, we didn't have that moment where Ellie makes a really bad throw and all of a sudden the inning blows up, or Noelvi Marte takes a bad route to a ball, or Matt McClain boots a ball that maybe he could play, but maybe he doesn't, or, whatever. Like,
right.
Everybody was coming together. And that has been the biggest, most impressive difference for me over this last week. And the reason that I think this is real, the reason that I don't think the 5-game winning streak that they have right now will just completely disappear and everything will blow up in their faces because of the clean baseball.
Exactly. Now, Randy Freakin, who is awesome, by the way, love this dude. He's the reason I get to go do the show at Moorline House the night before opening day. So shout out to Randy Freakin. And he's got his own podcast, and I can't remember the name of it now, and I was on it, so make sure you put the name of it in the chat, Randy. My bad, I forget, but he's asking Matt McClain batting 6 tonight. What's your thoughts on that? Which I haven't seen, but I haven't seen the batting order yet, so I don't even know. Go ahead.
Seen better at bats from him. Yeah, the batting order tonight is interesting. Gavin Lux is batting 3rd. You got Noelvi Marte, of course, batting 2nd. Your top 2 are unchanged from what it's been here recently of TJ Friedel and Noelvi Marte. But the good news is they're facing 3 right-handers starting tonight. Johan Oviedo is right-handed, of course.
Which is good. We're not good at left-handers. Right-handers, we're fine. Go ahead. Sorry.
The lineup. And you get Will Benson in the lineup, who's been just hotter than hot right now. But Matt McClain, like going back to him, like he has had better at bats here recently, and I think that we will continue to see him. He did that whole deal where I think it just took him a longer time than we were allowing for him to get right after coming back from that labrum surgery, where it's like physically you feel away, and then mentally you've got to get confidence in how you feel physically, and then on top of how you feel is how you play, and giving the confidence and the repetitions and all that other stuff. It's just, it took much longer than we wanted it to, but I think we're seeing the Matt McClain that we expected here over the last, I'd say probably 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, I mean, I said this because people were like, "Oh, should we sit Matt McClain? Should we rely on him next year?" And I said, "Look, he hurt his shoulder. If everyone remembers Gino Suarez, hurt his shoulder in that swimming pool accident, and it took him almost, from what I've heard, we traded him before this, a year to a year and a half, where he really got back to where he is, and now he's hitting 50 home runs again." So I said next year Matt McClain will be closer to what the Matt McClain we expected was, and we've seen it here the last 3 weeks. So hopefully he's coming back sooner than I even thought. And what's your thoughts on the big thing where everybody was happy, surprised that they finally dropped Ellie down? And how do you think that's helped him out?
I think it has helped him very much. Not from a rest standpoint. I still think he looks fatigued at the plate. He's not perfect, but I think it's helped him to like change his mental approach at the plate, where when you're hitting 3rd, you're like, I got to bring in the runs. I got to be the RBI guy. Right. I think Ellie is best served as the chaos generator, the guy on base that the middle of the lineup's trying to bring in. And so I think that should be something that Terry Francona is currently evaluating that for next year as well, and being like, all right, how do we move him around in the lineup next year? Is it going to be back in that 3rd spot? Is it going to be higher up in the order? I think the best version of this Reds lineup is with either him 1, Friedel 2, or Friedel 1, Ellie 2. I'd like to see Ellie lead off, but that's another conversation entirely. But
I like seeing him in the outfield though too. We'll just say that.
Yeah, that's going to be talking.
That's another conversation we can have. But I'm still on that one where I think you should be out there. But go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and I just think that the roles, changing his role of being an on-base guy, being a guy who really brings the chaos, I think suits him a lot more than hitting 3rd. And kind of going back and just to clarify on something when it comes to Matt McClain, like the reason that I'm feeling about them last 3 weeks, 22 games, so a little bit more than 3 weeks, really, he is slugging 500 in 22 games. So that's the guy that we expect to see from Matt McClain. And while Ellie's numbers haven't quite bumped up that dramatically, we have seen a better approach at the plate, at least over the last week from him.
Now, I'm trying to look here real quick. What is the batting order? Is South Stewart in tonight, or is
let me pull that up, because last I saw, I was trying to memorize. I know Key Brian Hayes is batting 9th.
I'm trying to see here. Hold on.
Which I hoping he just has a big old day against his former team. All right, here it is. Friedel, Marte, Lux DH batting third, Steer at first base batting fourth, Ellie, McLean, Benson, Trevino, and Hayes. So no Stevenson and no South Stewart tonight.
Okay.
At least starting.
Right. Because that's what because when South Stewart came out, Steer took some of his playing time away, but it seemed like it kind of helped maybe giving him a break, because that's the same thing with Ellie. And I'll go back, and to me, Ellie wants to play every day. Playing every day, 150, 162 at shortstop is a lot. So that's where you moving forward, these guys got to have some breaks, and they've wore down, but I think that break helps Steer, because I had some people like, oh, Steer's, he's just a ultimate utility guy. It's like, I still think Steer's a good everyday player wherever you want to put him. He can play third, second, first, left field. Is he a Gold Glover at any of them? Well, actually, I think he could be a Gold Glover at first base, to be honest, if he stays there. But I think his bat has finally come back around to where we thought it would be.
I think so too, and he's the guy that I've called him the mashed potatoes before of the lineup. I don't think he's been that this year.
No.
But here recently, he's getting back into that spot. There's not really been anybody take that spot from him, at least in the lineup. I would love to see South Stewart play first base every day, and I think that Spencer Steer could be an asset to them. Like if we do have the conversation of moving Ellie into the outfield, maybe move Spencer Steer to second.
That's my boy. That's what I've been saying. Put Spencer Steer at second, put McLean at short, and then you got Key Brian Hayes, because you're not moving Key Brian Hayes. He's signed. He's your third baseman for the next couple of years. I say you put Ellie out in left field or center. But I know. Good. You got something to say?
Well, wait, because you mentioned like possible Gold Glove for Spencer Steer at first base. I think the one thing that differentiates South Stewart from Spencer Steer is the fact that I think South Stewart's better with the stretch, at the stretch and scoop than Spencer Steer. Spencer Steer's got good reaction times and things like that. But I think overall, like, you would see a better right side of the infield if you made that move. And I really like what South Stewart brings personality-wise to this team. I think that he needs to be considered in some way as a key member of next year's lineup.
Absolutely. And I really want to talk about today and today's game and moving forward, but we'll get into off-season talk later. But I don't think it's gonna happen. But I would really love Schwarber as the DH next year. That would be awesome.
Fun. It'd be fun.
Dude, that's what I just keep saying. If you add him, which I know is a ton of money, and add some bullpen, sign me up for that. But I don't think that's gonna happen.
The hope is that they get a little bump from the gate in the playoffs, but we'll see.
Well, we got to get there first. All right. So speaking of the playoffs, and this is where now my children, my son's 25, my daughter's 21. They have never, ever seen the Reds win a series before. Last time we won a series was 1995. I know if we get in, it's going to go be against most likely the Dodgers. But now, are they 3 games or a 5-game series? Is that what the first round is?
Best of 3 for the
best
wild
of 3.
card.
All right, best of 3. So you're coming out with
they're
Hunter
all
Green.
in LA.
Yeah, that sucks. But you're coming out with Hunter Green, Abbott, and Lodolo. Those are 3 pretty damn good pitchers that I know the Dodgers got Shohei, and they got the other guy. I can't think of his name right now. They have some really good pitching. Yamamoto, yes. They have very good pitching to line up to, and we're going to have to hit. But I will take my chances with those 3 in a short series anytime.
Especially with Hunter Green, because he's still super fresh. I mean, I hate the fact that he's been on the IL this year, but because of his IL stints, he is more fresh than other pitchers are at this point. I mean, we see Abbott here recently where it's like he has one good start, one bad start, and I think that's just fatigue settling in, because as he's pushing his ceiling as far as like starts made and innings pitched in a season, as he keeps pushing it higher and higher these last couple of years, you keep seeing new levels of fatigue that he has to work through. And that's just part of it. But I still believe in his talent, and I believe in Lodolo's talent, and I certainly believe in Hunter Green's talent when he's healthy. So I think that that's going to be a huge part of this. And that's why we have said all year long, it's like, as much as they are so frustrating, and whether or not they even get there is the big question. Right. If they get there, or
we'll speak into when they get there. We'll speak into
when they get there.
When they get there, yes.
When they're there, it's going to be real hard for other teams to
Right.
match up with them because of their starting pitching.
Right. Exactly. And that's the part I've said that from the beginning of the season. So we get into the playoffs, our pitching is going to be the reason we win these series when we get in. Now, the other thing we got here is Carrie's brought it up here is have you guys seen Chase Burns' college pitch antics? The Reds want him to cut loose. I'm just excited to see him coming out of the bullpen right now. I'm happy that they're doing that. I know he's been hit or miss, but he's just coming back. But I'm ready to see what he can do because I don't think the moment scares him. From his first 3 starts, what was the Yankees, Red Sox, Phillies? I don't think it was that exact order, but they were murderers row. That's your first three starts. And yeah, I know he got his ass kicked in Boston, but he came back from it and it didn't break him. So I want to see him in these pressure situations, see how this kid handles it.
I agree with Carrie. Let him cut loose. I think that he's just still getting used to Major League Baseball. I think we'll see him cut loose as he really gets more comfortable with where he's at. I mean, he's barely pitched any bit in the minor leagues, so his comfort level is far different from some other guys, but we do see that confidence. We see him get on the mound and believe that no matter who steps up to the plate, he can get that guy out. I think it's interesting because what she said made me think of another guy, another pitcher in the bullpen who I have really seen a change. And I know that Cowboys talked about this guy quite a bit, but I see exactly what he's talking about every time he pitches. And that's Connor Phillips. Connor Phillips has like a little K strut now. Like he strikes a dude out and he like struts off the mound. It's just like, all right, bring him on. Who's next? I'm going to get him too. And that is something that I think we could see Chase Burns even as early as next year having as well.
Exactly. Now I want to talk about Tito, and I saw a little interview with him. I think Caleb Noel had it on Twitter here. I love Tito. His palms are sweaty. He said he's been in full uniform since like 10:45 a.m. this morning. So he is freaking ready to go. And people kept asking me, does the manager make a difference? Yes, I think Tito has made a difference. We are in this spot, and I do think mostly it's the players, obviously, but a lot has to do with Tito and his mindset of we're not going to quit. Who knows what's going to happen? We're going to take this day by day and keep fighting and keep scratching the claw. And that's what this team has done. They've taken on Tito's personality, and Tito's known for this. This is what he does.
And I think there's an element of this that you just don't see with David Bell or with anybody else, where it's like their mentality is their mentality all the way. And that's fine. But like Terry Francona knows when to flip the switch. It's just like he said the other night post game, whenever Tyler Stevenson hit the go ahead homer, that it was like, he came up to him and said, if so-and-so walks in front of me, do you want me to bunt? And Tito's like, no, I want you to put it in the third row. And exactly. It's like, yeah, like what we heard early on this season was a lot more bunting, a lot more conservative nature and things like that. Now's the time to go for it. And he understands that he's flipping that switch. Likewise, the way that he's managing the bullpen, I think that at this point, we as fans can understand that how he is managing this is how the Reds need to manage this. There might be some questions about usage and things like that, but Tito has said all season long very consistently that one of his biggest needs and one of his biggest desires with any bullpen pitcher is not a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. It's not a break your ankles kind of sweeper or breaking ball or whatever. It's the fact that if I'm going to call on you, you want that call. You want to be the guy that he brings out of the bullpen, and he's got a number of guys out there that he believes are that way, Tony Santillan being chief among them. Yes. And so I really think that he has understood how to properly manage this bullpen, albeit through the absolute dogfight that has been this last week and will be this next week.
Exactly. And yes, I see Crip with the Bearcat question. Since you do locked on Bearcats, people ask me a Bearcat question. We'll get to it in a second. But yeah, that goes back to, if you look at the 2015 World Series when he was managing Cleveland, that bullpen was gas, but he had a bunch of dogs in there that just, yes, give me the ball. And Santillan, he was a starting pitcher when we first came up, when we first got him, and he has turned himself into a freaking bulldog in that bullpen. And I love the way his arms falling off. He'll come out and try to throw strike.
He's a right-handed guy. He's not a left-handed like Andrew Miller, but he reminds me of Andrew Miller.
Yes.
Andrew Miller was that guy for Terry Francona out of Cleveland's bullpen back then. And Tony Santillan has that mentality now. He's not as established as Andrew Miller was at that point in his career, but at the same time, I see a lot of similarities. There is no worry in him whatsoever. Even when there's guys on base, if he walks two guys, he still knows he's going to get that next out. And I jokingly said, I know our friend Austin Elmore over at ESPN 1530 tweeted out the fact he hates it when a guy comes out of a bullpen and walks a guy on 4 pitches. And I'm just like, yes, but what if he's trying to get get 2 outs on 1 ground ball?
Right.
He's got a plan.
Maybe he does. Maybe he does. I mean, I hate it too. I don't like what happens, but I understand that, like, because you're at this point, I know the guys are trying to get guys out. I don't necessarily think they're trying to blow your doors because I know this bullpen is tired. I know they've been used a lot. They're just trying to get out, and that's the thing. But that goes back to Abbott, and this is his second full year, I think, or is his second full year?
Third full year.
All right, third full year.
Third full year.
Hey, either way, it's third year in majors. We'll put it that way.
Thinking myself into a pretzel.
Because he came up later on in the year in 23, I think it was. Anyway, his maturity this year and the consistent, because he's been the most consistent starting pitcher for us all year. And I said this back in, I want to say May or June, probably. I said, and I was talking to one of my guys at work, and I said, our best pitcher's pitching tonight. They're like, Hunter Green's not pitching. I said, no, it's Abbott. Abbott's been our best pitcher all year long. There's no shade on Hunter Green, but Abbott has been. If we didn't have Abbott, where the hell would this pitching staff be at? I mean, for a third year in the major leagues of what he's doing and his mental capacity to just throw strikes and keep us in the game, it's amazing.
Yeah, and the fact that he is, his next start will be his 29th start on the season and just his third year in the league. His first 2 years, the most he got to was 25. So he's in brand new territory. And should the Reds be there in October like we think they will be, that means he's going to push that even more. So we're still talking about uncharted territory for him. He's 1 inning behind Nick Martinez, who gets the benefit of also coming in as a relief pitcher. So he's pitched more games than the starting pitchers have, but he's tied with Brady Singer, as Brady Singer will kind of take that lead here tonight. But Brady Singer was the guy whenever the Reds traded for him, like, okay, that's the guy that's probably going to make the 30 starts. Will somebody else match him? Mm-hmm. And Andrew Abbott's going to be 1 start away from making 30 starts this year. But it's how well he has done with all of those starts. As much as Brady Singer has made 30, now 31 starts counting tonight, Andrew Abbott has been almost worth 6 wins above replacement, according to Baseball Reference. And that is like Hunter Green territory. So it's easy to make the argument that, yes, Andrew Abbott is the guy because of availability over Hunter Green this year. But I don't want people to make it seem as though that's the only reason that you would take Andrew Abbott in a conversation about who's been the best pitcher this year, because he's been really, really good on top of being really reliable.
And Singer, what we complain about, the Reds didn't do this or Reds didn't do that. Brady Singer has been a godsend for us.
Fantastic.
I mean, the beginning of the year, his first couple starts, I'm like, holy crap, this dude's really freaking good. Now he kind of went down and kind of went back, but he's been pretty consistent of keeping the Reds in this thing. And I think he went from like the luckiest pitcher the Reds had, they scored the most runs, and then they like stopped scoring runs for him, which is weird, because usually you're the guy who gets the runs, you're the guy who gets the runs all year. But those 2 guys right there have been the rock of this bullpen. And you mentioned Nick Martinez. I never paid him a ton of money, but damn it, he's worth it for being able to go back and forth as easy as he can from almost throwing a no-hitter, 1-hitter or whatever early in the year, to coming in to do the bullpen in the hard innings. You need guys like that in this team and for playoff baseball, playoff races. When we get into playoff baseball, that's what you're going to need. I mean, those 3 right there have been probably Pagan. I'll put Pagan out there too, and Santillan. Those 4 right there have probably been the glue to this entire pitching staff, I think, this year.
And it's interesting too, because, and I'm not saying it as a counterpoint as if it's a big miss or nothing, but Nick Lodolo, even though he's missed a few starts, has not missed the number of starts that he has in these years past. And Nick Lodolo is having the kind of year that I think we all hoped for whenever he was first called up. I mean, he's got a strikeout to walk ratio of 5.1. That's 5 strikeouts for every 1 walk that he has. And as much as early on in the season, we still saw a little bit of the blister issues and he missed time with that, he's figured it back out again. And he's still throwing that breaking ball that is absolutely baffling dudes and getting the strikeouts. I think that's been the craziest part of this team. Has been the guys that we mentioned, has been the starting rotation and the top end of the bullpen. That's why it was so concerning there during the A series and, the series around there where we kind of saw the bullpen start to falter a bit, those two guys, because we know that outside of them, as much as we love Graham Ashcraft,
we ain't got shit.
Coin toss. As much as we love Scott Barlow and as many times as he's pitched this year, he's a bit of a coin toss. Brent Suter, not a high leverage guy, but we love him. And he's a huge part of this bullpen, at least keeping it together in the earlier stages of the game or in games where guys don't necessarily pitch as much as you want to. But if you need a high leverage arm, he's not that guy. Those two guys are Santillan and Pagan. And when they falter, that's when we're worried. But to their credit, it's been few and far between when they do. And that's why we are where we are, because this team has been exactly league average in runs per game, batting average, and on-base percentage. They've been below league average when it comes to slugging. It's all been the pitching that has made them the team that they are right now.
Now, let's talk a little bit about Graham Ashcraft. I know he's had an up and down year, first year as a relief pitcher. But since he's coming back again from his last bullpen stint, he's been pretty reliable for us here. And with the time that he's missed, his arm probably is a little fresher than it would be if he stayed healthy. So that moving forward, I think that, and I mean the crap on Graham, I personally like, he comes on my show a lot. So I love Graham Ashcraft. I think he's good. But what's your thoughts on how Graham has done this year, being the first year as a relief pitcher?
I think it's been all right. And I have changed my understanding of this a little bit based on how Jeff Brantley talks about it, based on how Cowboy thinks about Graham Ashcraft, because it's easy for us to hone in on the games where he blew up or the games where he blew a lead or something like that and just say, well, see, it's just not working. This experiment of putting him in a bullpen just ain't working. Cowboy said, it's hard to appreciate the difference between starting and coming out of the bullpen, because when you're starting, you have a routine. I'm pitching today, and for the next 4 days, I am getting my body right for the next start that I have. In the bullpen, you're sitting down there and you're waiting for the phone to ring. And when the phone rings, you don't know if it's your name or not, but you've got to be ready in case it is your name. So every day, unless you pitched 3 days in a row or something like that, every day you got to be ready. And that's a different lifestyle altogether from being a starting pitcher. So I'm sure a lot of that was just Graham Ashcraft getting used to. A lot of this season was just Graham Ashcraft getting used to that, because honestly, his first 12 appearances, Jeff, when you look back through, and I think we forget this super easily because of how he blew up in the middle of the year, but his first 12 appearances, he had a .57 ERA through 12 appearances, where only one of them was less than 1 inning.
That's what I was talking about him as a closer. Good.
Right. Yeah. And he's got the stuff for it. It's he's got to have the mentality and he's got to have the physicality for it. And I think that that's still something that takes more time than we appreciate as fans just watching the game.
Yeah, I still think he could be our future closer. I do think that's a possibility. But
a couple of guys in that category.
Yeah, a couple of them could be. I mean, and I my favorite team of all time was the 1990 team, the Nasty Boys. If we could ever get a bullpen, which I don't know if you ever recreate the craziness of those three, but the sure dominance of them coming out of that bullpen is nothing like I've ever seen ever before. And if you could ever get that back, which there's been times this year with Ashcraft and Santillan and Pagan, they've looked like, not consistently, but there have been times they've looked that good. Can they get that hot and do that again now when it's game time? Which I'm not saying they can or they can't, but I'm definitely not saying they can't.
I would say there's a couple of different guys that are the quintessential lead-in to Santillan and Pagan in the back end of a game, and it's either Ashcraft or Barlow. But don't sleep on Connor Phillips. I really think Connor Phillips is going to jump into that role maybe as soon as right now. How he has been pitching here recently has been lights out, and then we could really start to trust him going into next season, but his arm is more fresh than some of these guys as we head into the postseason, and he doesn't look like the moment's too big. The lights aren't too bright for Connor Phillips right now.
And you still got Chase Burns in there too. So I'm getting goosebumps just talking about this. Like these guys, because Chase Burns, yes, he's pitched more innings than he's ever pitched. So you got to kind of watch when you use him. But Connor Phillips, he's got a fresh arm, and it looks like he's finally starting to figure out what he can do at this level. And that's exciting because what better time than now, Jeff?
Right. And it's funny because, I mean, we haven't even mentioned the power surge that the lineup had, because we know if this pitching staff pitches like we think they can, then you just got to score enough. You don't have to go off for 5 home runs like they did on Friday night against the Cubs.
It helps.
It helps, but you just got to score enough.
Right. I do want to talk about one of the best moves I think Tito made this year is moving Marte out to right field. That, as soon as he did that, it like just cleared his brain up of just be able to hit. And I know he's had some miscues out there, but for basically learning how to play right field in the major leagues, I think he's done a pretty damn good job. And he's got an arm. I mean, he's throwing out a couple of people. Of them, I thought he threw him out to a double play about a month or so ago, and replay show you did. But either way, I think he has the potential of being a Gold Glove right fielder, to be honest, the way as athletic as he is and how he tracks the ball. But that right there, that move right there changed his whole season because he was not hitting consistently. As soon as they moved to right field, he's up to batting number 2.
To your point, like going back, it's about, was that July 30th was kind of when they made that decision. He played right field like a couple of times before that, but he started at third base.
When they got Key, that's when they made it a permanent. When they got Key, whatever, that was like right at trade.
Right there, so like August 1st. So like August 1st to now, Noelvi Marte at the plate, 262, 294, 440. So it's not lighting the world on fire, but that's still a very solid hitter, especially a lot better than last year. Mm-hmm. But overall, we've definitely seen him really step forward this season at the plate. I think that he's a guy moving forward. The number 2 spot will be an interesting discussion because that feels like that's been the biggest need for the Reds this year. You remember the one time that Santiago Espinal hit second in the lineup, and we're just like, we're really grasping at straws here.
Right, Tina, what are you doing?
He's definitely got a shot to be in that conversation. He's had a bit of a struggle this September. I hope he kind of gets it back a bit, but I think that he's got the kind of talent. And like you mentioned, out there in the outfield, that arm, the Reds have not had an arm like that in a long time.
Paul O'Neill, Dave Parker, those are the first ones that come to my mind.
Jay Bruce occasionally. Yeah.
I mean, he can just uncork it, dude, and on a line, right to the home plate here. Now, we talked about this a little earlier, but Natty wants to know here, is it possible to lock up the 7th spot at home?
It is. They would need the Cubs to sweep the Mets, and I think the Diamondbacks need to lose. I can't remember if they have to lose 2 out of 3 to the Padres or just 1 out of 3. I think it's 2 out of 3. Yeah, the Reds got to be 3 games up on both teams going into Milwaukee for them to lock it up. So they have to sweep the Pirates, and the Mets have to be swept, and the Diamondbacks have to lose 2 out of 3.
I'm all for that, not having to worry about winning a game in Milwaukee. To be honest, again, it goes back to '99. I remember it was. Oh goodness, who was the starting pitcher we traded for? We got from Toronto. It was the last game. I cannot remember his name. We traded for him, and it was the rain delay, and the game didn't get started to damn near 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. It was late as hell, and they had to win that game to tie the Mets. And driving me nuts, I can't remember that freaking pitcher. He's one of my favorite pitchers back in the 90s.
Steve Paris.
Steve Paris. He pitched out. Okay, before that, who was the guy we traded for from Toronto? Because he must have been Steve Parrish pitched the last one.
That wasn't Pete Harnish, was it?
No. I'll think of it later. I'm
blanking on it too.
Anyway, but that's what the scary. We have all this PTSD from Bengal seasons. That's mine from the Reds. But the thing is, we can't tie them, so the Brewers could knock us out. That's why just get this done. So we went from sweeping the Cubs. We want the Cubs to sweep the Mets And
Right.
it's funny how things switch here, but it's fun. I did not think, again, a month ago, I didn't think we were going to be here. I didn't. I was like, this season's done. It just shows how good this team is. Let's see, Carrie. Speaking of rain, oh boy, 90% chance tomorrow, 80% the Thursday. What's the implications, Jeff? I think she's asking you.
Speaking of rain, what's the implications?
Rain out.
So they're definitely going to have to play it. There's no
Yeah,
off day in between here and Milwaukee. So I would think that if they have to, they would play a doubleheader on Thursday. But I think more than likely they're going to press on because before the game starts, it's in the Reds' hands.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the game starts, it's in the umpire's hands. But I would think that as of right now, they somehow get the game in tonight. And then I've seen some forecasts that say that most of the rain will hit early on Wednesday. Again, I am not a meteorologist. I like the Reds. I don't like weather. But based on what I'm seeing on the apps, the AccuWeather, that's what I've seen here recently. Of course, we know that can change. There's two jobs in the world that can be super wrong all the time, Jeff, and it's sportscaster and weather forecaster.
Yeah. Tell me about it. I thought the Bengals were gonna win Sunday, and they got the biggest freaking loss in Bengals history. But anyway, but that goes back to what I said with the rain back in '99. That was the last game of the season. They were getting that game in. So
yeah,
and like I said, so they're rain be damned. They're going to get the games in somehow. They're going to have to. It's too important to not get
doubleheader Wednesday or doubleheader Thursday is what would happen if they have to postpone any of them. But I think they're going to do their best to not have to postpone any of them.
Yes, exactly. Jeff, I'm excited. I usually go an hour, but I want to hurry up, get the hell down there to the game. Are you going tonight? Have you made your decision?
Not tonight, but I think I'm going. I think we're going to try to be down there tomorrow for Skeens Green.
Ooh, I am planning on doing the show. Hopefully, if Trags is okay with it, doing the show at 4:30 tomorrow. Or Trags is down at the park. If I talk him in to meet me somewhere, we can do the show on my phone. So it could be interesting tomorrow. But Jeff, I appreciate you coming on again. Plug some stuff before I let you go. As always, you're awesome, dude.
Yeah, you can follow Locked On Reds wherever you get your podcasts, including YouTube, and check out Locked On Bearcats as well, talking about the Cincinnati Bearcats. Brought that back last week. Getting ready for Kansas. Going to be interesting.
Yes,
Got Dan Hoare joining me for segment 1 tomorrow, and we're going to be crossing over with our Locked On Jayhawks host, kind of breaking everything down.
Awesome. So I'm going to get you off for Bearcat stuff too, and we're talking Reds right now. We'll talk Bearcats later. Hey, appreciate you, Jeff. See you, man.
All right, take it easy, Jeff.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I am. BJ, I'm going. You're going to the Reds game Thursday. Cool. Ice. I'm leaving work early. There you go, Natty, to watch the game. That's my boy. Come on. I mean, dude, I am so freaking. I wanted to talk Reds yesterday. I really did. But it's Monday. It's the day after the Bengals, so we all usually do. We had to do Bengals therapy. But I'm so fired up. Like I said, you guys know me. I am a Cincinnati fan. I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan. I'm a Bearcat fan. I'm a Bengals fan to the day I die. I can get pissed off at them and say they're done. Like Sunday sucked watching the Bengals game, but then I got to watch the Reds win and get in a playoff spot. So Sunday was amazingly depressing watching the Bengals. And then I'm going, holy crap, the Reds are actually in the playoffs. Like, wow. I didn't expect that was going to happen. And so excited. My wife and my daughter want to go to the game with me. That doesn't usually happen. It's $8 ticket. It's 3-2-1 night. Why not get down there? Hashtag Pack GABP. If you guys see me down there, I'm Dice Shane. Come say hi. I cannot freaking wait to get the heck down there. Oh, is it game time yet?
All right, shout out to my sponsors. They are Priority Lawn and Landscaping for all your lawn and landscaping needs. You need your grass cut, you need shrubbery trimmed, I don't know, you need a paper patio, you need anything. I mean anything. Landscaping required. Think Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And of course, Meyer Window, Door, and more. I got them in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. They're energy efficient, great looking windows, easy to clean. Meyer Window, Door, and more. The website is MyCincinnati.com. And also shout out to my favorite brewery, Moorline Lager House. Get on down there, get you some delicious Moorline beer, some delicious Moorline food. And tell them I sent you. Moorline Lager House.
And again, this Monday, we'll be doing the watch day party at Moorline Lager House for the Monday Night Football game. I'll be down there playing some music, having surprises, having some fun, watching the Bengals beat the Denver Broncos. Let's hope so. Get on down to GABP. I hope to see you guys tonight. Thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. You can follow me on all those along with my Substack. I got another article out there today, so please go out there and check out my Substack article. It's free. Appreciate it. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. I will be pulling off the sound later on tonight. It might be tomorrow morning. We'll see. But it will be out there. Check it out. The podcast on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Please listen to it. Make sure you rate, like, and review. I'll leave a 5-star review and a comment so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. Other than that, I'll see you guys down at GABP. Who Dey for life? Go Reds! And that's your sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.